Yo guys, what is up? It's P from PTV and welcome back to my channel. Today, we've got a little bit of a tutorial, a little bit of a guide for you guys who maybe you've seen some competitive next-gen Pro-Am on YouTube and you're thinking to yourself, hey, some of these games are pretty fun to watch, they're pretty cool, maybe I want to get into that. Maybe you're not next-gen, maybe you're last-gen and you're thinking the same thing. Well, if you're trying to get into the competitive Pro-Am scene like I am, I've been playing Comp Pro-Am in a league for about a month now, and I've noticed a couple things, and I want to help you guys out with maybe a top 5 list of things that I think can help you guys immediately become a little bit more competitive. Today's video is going to be more oriented towards the defensive side of the basketball, and the reason for that is because, honestly, I think the better your defense is, the more chances you have in the game. I've seen some teams with really awful offenses compete with good teams just because they're very organized and they have rules that they follow on defense. So, if you're interested in this series of videos, if you're interested in this tutorial and or more Pro-Am tutorials, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more of this stuff, and that said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. This is going to come off as a little surprising for the number 1 rule here, and these are in no particular order, but I think this is the easiest one to go ahead and learn how to do, and this is to stop the deep outlet passes, okay? Let me paint you a picture. You're on offense, you take a shot, you miss the shot, the other team grabs the rebound. So what happens 9 out of 10 times, the opposing center grabs the board and he just whips the ball up the court as far as fast as he can, and you're giving up way too many easy buckets off that, whether they're dunks or whether they're getting out to the three-point line, getting easy wide open threes on you. It's just not cool, and to be able to stop that in the first place is going to make sure that they have to earn every bucket on you against a defense, okay? So what you're going to want to do is to put your top guys who are on the top of the offense, right? Those guys that are on the shoulders or the dead center of the offense, you're going to make sure they are committed to getting back no matter what. Nobody passes them, and you're basically tracking them like corners would track a wide receiver on a football field, right? Make them throw it and then press X in that lane. Something that's going to help you with that is make sure that you have at least gold interceptor on builds that are doing that. If you don't, I mean, try to beat them back to spots and make sure that you're in front of them, so they're not just able to go ahead and dunk the ball or shoot threes, that you're at least, you know, in front of them in order to contest shots and things like that. The next thing that you're going to want to do is understand your defenses. Now, there's a whole lot of defenses to choose from, whether it's man-to-man or any variation of zone that you could possibly come up with. The more popular defenses in Pro-Am at the moment are the man-to-man and 3-2. This is basically because of the floor spacing, which is dictated by the offense. When they set up their half-court sets, you'll see most of the time a lot of teams run a 5-out set, and because they're in a 5-out set, they leave that middle wide open. If you leave somebody in the middle like you would in maybe, I don't know, a 2-3, you leave that center in the middle, you're basically saying, hey, I want these 4 people on the perimeter of the defense to guard 5 people on offense on the perimeter. So that's just something that it doesn't necessarily work super well when you're playing against teams in competitive Pro-Am modes that know exactly what it is they're doing. I would not recommend that. So again, the most popular are the 3-2 and the man-to-man. I would definitely recommend those. When you're doing that, it doesn't mean that you have to do the same thing in man or 3-2 as everybody else. There's plenty of different types of rotations or ways to handle things, whether that's having your shoulders kind of dig a little bit at the ball handler if he's an ISO style player. When I say dig, I mean, you know, kind of showing as if they're going to help a little bit and then getting back to their hash shooters, waiting to shoot those really deep threes. You kind of want to dig, but they always know that they're coming back. There's different rotations that you can have, whether that's I want to commit a big man rotating from this place or that place going to the basket, right? So really, it's all about how you want to do it and basically how the offense is allowing you to do it. You'll find that some rotations in different sets work really, really well against some teams. And sometimes you'll come up against a team where that rotation is absolutely god-awful and you're going to have to switch it, right? And so that's really the fun part, and in a lot of ways that's sort of the chess match that comes with Pro-Am, and is really the fun aspect of it for me is when you come up with an idea that works, everything clicks, everybody's operating in unison, right? And so the second tip is to pick out defenses and then understand the defense and have all 5 people sort of, you know, in sync, right? You want to make sure that you don't have a weak link. And that's going to bring me to my next point. It's not having a weak link. It would be great if we were all able to have 5 guys that are absolute studs, right? But that's not always the case. Sometimes you got to go in with guys who, you know, maybe they don't understand basketball things very well, and maybe you just show them this video. Maybe that would be super helpful. And the best thing that I could tell you for tip number 3 is that there are lots and lots of builds and lots of positions that you can pick from. Yes, there are metas and things like that you want to make sure that you're putting people in positions in your defense that they can be successful at. So for example, if I have an offensive-oriented guard, maybe we're the type of team that relies on an offensive guard to really carry us. You know, he's poured all of his attribute points. He's catered his build into completely being offensive. You know, I'm not going to put that guy in a defensive position where he's got lots and lots of pressure on him. So for example, I'm never ever going to put that guy against the other team's ball handler and expect him to do a good job. Where can you put him? A lot of times you'll find that the weakest offensive players on the other team are in the corners. And so quite frankly, if I have a complete offensive build, I'm just going to hide that guy on defense in the corner. It's less of a responsibility. It's less pressure to kind of understand, you know, your rotations or whatever. You just got to make sure that you don't allow corner threes. And I guarantee you, in every single good offense in 2K, the other team's going to have some guys that are sitting in the corner. It's just what it is. It helps with spacing, right? It's an easy three-point shot they want to take advantage of if you're not guarding it. So while it's an important aspect of your defense, it's not one that's going to, you know, require a whole lot of thought or, you know, a build that's geared towards defense. Now, on the other side of things, where can they be successful? If I have a guy that's great at perimeter defense, obviously I want to put him in positions where he's guarding the ball as much as humanly possible. Maybe I have guys who are great shooters and the only defense they have is kind of, you know, high steals, and we want them in passing lanes. You can put those guys in corners. You can put those guys as hash sitters. It's really up to you. And I can't tell you all the variations and all the variables that you could possibly find in all of the builds that you could bring onto your team. Just kind of have an idea of what you want to do and then recruit guys that, you know, fit that thing. And if you're looking for guys to recruit or ways to recruit them, definitely check out the 2K Reddit, right? You can find a link to the 2K Discord in there where they have opportunities for you to go ahead and find people that you're looking for that fit those roles. The next thing that I'll say is, as far as defense, is the fourth one. And this is actually my favorite one because it's the one where the defense gets to dictate to the offense what they're allowed to do. And that's dictating the pace by pressing. If you don't know what a press is when you pick up the other team and you play defense against them full court. You know, a lot of times, whether it's in the NBA or college or whatever it is, whatever type of basketball you're watching, they'll run back past the half court line and then just defend that space. Well, on a press, you're defending them from the jump as soon as they inbound it the entire length of the court. Now, there are lots of different presses for you to choose from. I don't really care which one you pick. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. What matters more is the mentality of your press. What I mean by that is, what are you looking to get from your press? When me and my guys press, we have two different options. Our first option is we're pressing to try to make the other team to commit turnovers, right? And you'll see when we press like that, we really blitz other teams. You know, we really sell out hard to try to get that ball handler to pick up the ball and to throw kind of crazy, more errant passes. You're right. The idea is the longer the ball stays in the air in a pass, the more chance we have to kind of put a guy there to intercept it, right? The other variation of the press is a more conservative press where we just want to put a little pressure on the ball handler and make him kind of focus on bringing the ball up the court instead of just walking it up. We find that when we allow the other team to walk the ball up the court, it usually takes them between, 3 to 5 seconds, something like that, which leaves them roughly 18, 19, 20 seconds to get the ball into the basket once they've crossed the half-court line. That's a lot of time for them to run a half-court offense. So we really want them to focus on bringing the ball up the court, and simply put, the more time they spend bringing the ball up the court, the less time they have on our side of the court trying to put the ball in the net, the less time that we have to defend intensely to stop them from scoring. So the last one may seem a little contentious, but because it doesn't actually have anything to do with defense, but it helps the defense out immensely. Okay, let me paint you a picture. You can defend a team in the fast break scenario with people out of positions and you trying to kind of do a little bit of guesswork, or you can defend with everybody in the correct positions as you guys have practiced over and over and over again. A 99.9% of you guys who aren't complete idiots are going to say, hey, we want to defend in the way that we've practiced a whole bunch of times. Okay, the best way to do that is to be efficient on offense. If I'm turning the ball over offensively, that puts my defense in a situation where we're going to have to run and we're going to have to play in transition or against the fast break. That's hard to defend. There's lots of space to defend. You'll find that if you're doing that more often than not, you're giving up open looks because it's just so much more difficult to defend that. But if my offense is more efficient, we're shooting the ball at a high rate, you're going to find that because 2K is the way that it is and because they do kind of a slower inbounds procedure, like the inbounding animation is a little bit longer, so you have time to get back and get everybody in the positions that they want to be, you're going to be more efficient on defense. It is what it is. Your offense helps your defense, and your defense helps your offense. These two things are not necessarily standalone. There are standalone aspects to it, as I pointed out with some of the other tips, right? But this is hand-holding. The offense holds the hand of the defense and vice versa. You have to make sure that you guys are clicking on all cylinders if you want to be efficient in every asset, or every facet of the game, excuse me. So those are my top 5 tips. Just a quick little, roughly 10-minute video or whatever. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want some more, make sure you comment down below what type of tutorial video are you guys looking for. Obviously, 2K cheese and things like that, I'm not super good at that, but I can tell you the ins and outs of basketball, having coached for roughly 10 years in real life and then playing 2K since about 2K8. So I'd love to make more videos. Comment down below what type of tutorial video you guys want next for Pro-Am. Thought process doesn't matter. I'm into making that vid. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate every single last one of you guys, and I will see you in the next one, man. Peace.